Alright guys, here, welcome to another video. In this video, we are going to go over Outlaw Rogue in Mythic Plus and how you can become the monster DPS that Outlaw is. Make sure you watch the video to the end, because in the end, I'm going to give you tips and tricks on how you can get a little edge and gain even more damage. Alright guys, let's get to it, but first, remember to like the video if you liked it and found it helpful. Do hit the subscribe button as well for more great content from me. Ring the little bell if you want notifications, and for a little extra sweet luck on those important 5-role buffs. We know it is needed. Also, leave a comment of what you thought of the video, and if you have any questions, I'll be doing my very best to answer them, and also it helps the algorithm. So thank you very much to all who leaves a comment. You are great. I stream over on twitch.tv/killerchris, and I stream pretty often. I usually stream in the evening time EU, so go and hit me up with a follow over there. We do have a Guinness World Record attempt coming up. We got the application approved. Now we just need to source all the things we need for it. Alright guys, let's get on with the video. Alright guys, so let's start here by going over the build, what gear, talents, yada yada we're going to be using. Ideally, you want to be playing bigger pulls with loads of mobs here. With this build, that is where Outlaw shines the most. Generally, this is a really good all-round build. You might get a teeny tiny increase if you swap out to something like another essence or other things like that that can increase your burst damage on fewer targets. But here is what we will be playing. So, if we go into the talents, we are going to be picking Weapon Master, Acrobatic Stripes, the Stratagem, Cheat Death, Prayer of the Weak, Electricity, and Blade Rush. So, a lot of you might tend to pick Dancing Steel. The reason why we take Blade Rush is that Blade Rush is the highest DPS single target, and is also uncapped AoE. Plus, with some good, we can almost keep 100% uptime on Blade Flurry if we are lucky with combo points and we spend them efficiently. It's almost 100% uptime, so the extra duration doesn't really matter on Blade Flurry, and the damage is not enough to warrant it over Blade Rush, since Blade Rush is uncapped. So that is why we do it like this. For the secondary talents, I mean essences, we are gonna be playing Vision of Perfection Major, due to the extra uptime and versatility. And that is basically it. Lower cooldown on Adrenaline Rush, really nice. Memory or Lucid Dream, more energy, more damage, and more versatility again. So Memory, Crucible of Flame, and Conflict of Strives are the essences that we'll be running for the azerite pieces. The 1 to 3rd talents. This is all talents in my opinion. We're going to be running 3 Heart of Darkness. We are going to run Brigand Splits. Ideally, a Unstable Flame. I've been testing out some stuff. Haven't swapped back. Apologies. I should have done that. I'm a shitty YouTuber. I know. Unstable Flames. And we are going to be running 2 Elemental Walls. And those can be found on the Gibbering Moor from Raden. They can be found on Pauldrons of the Great Convergence on Nusuf. And the Tortured Fleshbeat Couriers. Or Couriers. I'm not sure. English is not my first language. On the Carapace fight. For the weapons, 404 Diver's Folly still not found. You ideally want to be running a Diver's Folly in your offhand. It is a huge increase in damage, and whatever you can have that has a good stat in your main hand with your highest item level. Focus on getting a high item level main hand weapon. Don't worry about the stats. If you can get a same item level as you have with better stat, then obviously use that. But item level is priority in main hand weapon, and then of course Diver's Folly. And chance you want to be using Galefall Striking in your offhand, and Force Multiplier in your main hand is what is the best currently. Again, I've been trying around some few things. Didn't really seem to work out in my favor. So those are the one we are going to be using. And for gems, make sure you pick 2 agility gems. You can get a Leviathan's Eye, that's the 18 agility one. There's also a 12 agility one called Kraken's Eye from Legion, so go and pick one of those up on the auction house as well, because agility is your strongest stat. For the rest of the stat priority, we want to run Verse as much as we can. Then we want to run Crit, then we want to run haste and mastery, whatever we can get the most of. So haste and mastery is kind of equal. Mastery is a little bit better than haste in my findings. But verse is the major BIS one, then crit, and then the two others. Trinkets. Most top rogues run the PvP trinket that procs agility. It has a really high proc rate compared to the Resonating Heart. Resonating Heart is also good. I haven't been able to get in a high enough item level PvP trinket. Resonating Heart gives mastery as secondary stat, where the PvP trinket gives verse. Verse is the best. That is why that is really, really good. Tormented Jar is just nuts out of this world damage. So grab yourself one of those. I don't even think it matters what item level it is. I haven't looked at since for other item levels than Mythic. But Tormented Jar, highly recommended. And of course, Diver's Folly. And I think that is it for all the gear, talents, and stuff you'll need to know. Alright guys here, so when you play your Outlaw Rogue, there's a few things you want to keep in mind. So we have our maintainables, we have our roll the bones, and we have a slice and dice we need to keep up. So roll the bones, if you have a crit buff, let it drop off before you roll it again. And that's basically it. Or if you have 2 buffs, keep slice and dice up. Make sure that you use your adrenaline rush whenever you're gonna go into a big pool. Try and see if you can have it ready. Again, it resets quite quickly due to the finishers lower the cooldown of all our abilities, and depending on our roll of bones, it does it especially fast. What you want to make sure here you do is that you never use Blade Rush in a cleave scenario without having Blade Flurry up. Also try and make sure you use it on your main target that has Between the Eyes on as well. Let's take a look at how it could look here. So let's start in stealth. Obviously we are a rogue after all. Roll the bones. We're gonna hit, we're gonna vanish, we're gonna hit again. Then we can use Adrenaline Rush. And once we're starting to get some combo points here, we use Blade Flurry, we use Between the Eye, and then we use Blade Rush. At this point here, we can just start hammering in our finishers. We make sure we keep an eye out. We have a crit buff, so we don't want to roll it right away. And we pop our Blade Flurry as soon as we can again. We make sure we get our Between the Eyes up. And so it's pretty hefty AoE. I don't have WeGors to keep track of everything right now, but you can see here it's some significant damage. What are we at? Like 7 point something K here. So pretty sick damage here, and that's without a Diver's Folly. You can basically add almost 1000 extra DPS if you have a Diver's Folly in your offhand and proper enchant. So really, and that's 4 targets. Imagine 3-4 packs. Well, we've seen rogues pull up to 30k DPS as Outlaw on like massive packs. So definitely make sure you check out the Outlaw Rogue here. I'll give you some closing thoughts here in just a second on how you're doing this here, and have a bit of footage of a dungeon run I did here with smaller packs. So I'll leave you to it. Alright guys, here's some closing thoughts, and as promised, a few tips and tricks as to how you can improve yourself as an Outlaw. So, closing thoughts, Outlaw is really strong. It feels a lot better to play. It's still quite simple. Not as fun as sub, and I would still prefer to play sub any day. But it feels really great having Roll the Bones, actually having a cooldown and not costing combo point. It's a button with press, and it's a cooldown, and we get a nice buff, and everything is hunky-dory after that. Great job, Blizzard. Love to see it. Blade Rush, great ability. Love it. It's good to see that it has good single target capabilities and actually becoming the better option again once we start hitting some more targets. It adds a little bit more to the dynamic to what you check and change, and it adds a little bit more of the skill ceiling to the spec IMO. Skill ceiling is something that you can discuss all day. But yeah, let's give you a few tips and tricks here as to how you can improve yourself. So guys, Diver's Folly procs, try and see if you can fish for them right at the start of a big pool. If you can fish for a Diver's Folly proc and you get it, make sure you set a little vigor or a tell me when to track it. I have a UI guide if you want to know how I set up my stuff in the thing. I might do a revised UI guide for Shadowlands on how you can like set up the little hub I have in the middle and make it work even better. But yeah, make sure you save your stuff, because the more damage you can output in that window, the more damage you're gonna deal with the Diver's Folly. And since it is basically infinite AoE squared with the Diver's Folly, so we have, or uncapped AoE, I should say. We have the uncapped AoE from Blade Rush, and we have the shitload damage Blade Flurry puts out. So if we can stack that with our other cooldowns and line it up nicely, we get even more back. So it's like an exponential curve. So the better you can line those up, the more damage you do. Make sure you communicate with your tank as well, because Outlaw, if you have your cooldowns ready when you're doing a big pull, and not having them when you're doing a small pull, you're going to do a hell of a lot more damage than the other way around. So make sure you communicate, guys. Communication is key. People can't bite you through the microphone or Discord. Otherwise, I would certainly have bitten some people in the comment section. But it's nice to see that people are actually deleting their comments right after writing them. Sometimes. It's good to see. Love to see it, man. Good on you guys. You're actually coming to your senses. Alright, guys. I think that is going to cover it for today. But before I go, if you haven't already liked and subscribed the video to the channel, what are you doing? Ring the bell button. I'm even going to sweeten the deal a bit. A little bit extra drop chance on Diver's Folly. How about that? Also, if you're tired of cooking and cleaning, and you just want a healthy meal that tastes a lot like a milkshake and basically is a milkshake, check out runtime.gg and their meal supplements. It tastes hella delicious. My personal favorite are lemon cheesecake, strawberry, and lime. And they have tons of great flavors, and you can get 10% off by using code KillerChris. And that will also let them know that I send you, and you'll also support my work. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one, or on the live stream, or both. Who cares? Both. Both is good. I care. Join the live stream. It's great. We do ASMR. Like 2 seconds every stream.